The Corvin raiders didn't expect resistance on Colony World Delta 7. Humans were soft, or so the galactic records claimed. Easy prey. The settlement of New Harbor had no military presence, just farmers and families trying to build a life on the frontier. Gabriella clutched her stuffed Barrow-worn, patched thing her grandmother had made as she watched through the window of their homestead. The massive reptilian Corvins, 7 feet tall with scales like obsidian armor, were ransacking the settlement. Her mother, Elena, had hidden her in the storage closet and told her to stay quiet no matter what. But Gabriella could hear everything. The door burst open. Heavy footsteps. Her mother's voice defiant, even in fear. Then the sound that would echo. Through the galaxy, a sharp crack, and Elena's cry of pain as she crumpled to the floor. "Where are the supply caches, human?" The Corvin's voice was a gravelly snarl. "I won't tell you anything," Elena spat. Through the slats in the closet door, Gabriella saw a clawed hand snatch her bear from where it had fallen. The Corvan held it up mockingly. Pathetic. This is what humans treasure. He tore the bear's head off with casual cruelty. Gabriella couldn't help it. She screamed. The closet door ripped open. The Corvin loomed over her eyes like yellow coals. Another one. He reached for her hand. That's when Everett arrived. But Everett didn't arrive alone. The Corvin froze as the house trembled. Not from explosions, from footsteps. Massive, earth-shaking footsteps that made the very ground sing with tension. Everett crashed through the doorway. Not the front door, but through the wall itself, riding on the shoulder of something impossible. Something the Corvins recognized from their most ancient nightmares. A dragon. Not a metaphor. Not a ship or a mech. An actual living dragon scales shimmering like molten copper in the afternoon sun. Eyes intelligent and ancient, wings folded against a body the size of a small ship. And it was angry. "You picked the wrong world," Everett said calmly, his voice carrying the weight of absolute certainty. The Corvin raised his plasma rifle. The dragon moved faster than physics should allow, its tail whipping around to send the raider flying through the opposite wall. The weapon clattered uselessly to the floor. "Gabriella, close your eyes, sweetheart," Everett said gently. She didn't. She watched as the dragon lowered its massive head to peer at her mother's injured form, then at the torn remnants of her bear. Something passed between the dragon and the little girl, an understanding that transcended species. The dragon's rumble wasn't a roar. It was sadder than that. Disappointed, more Corvins rushed toward the house, weapons ready. They stopped dead when they saw what awaited them. Not one dragon. Dozens. They emerged from the forests, from the hills, from the very sky itself. Dragons of every color and size, answering a call that only they could hear. The call of a child's tears. The call of innocence violated. The Corvins. Leader, Commander Thross, activated his communicator with shaking claws. "This makes no sense. Dragons are extinct. They've been extinct for 10,000 years. Not extinct," Everett corrected, sliding down from his dragon's shoulder. He was young, barely 20, with the calm demeanor of someone who'd grown up with legends made flesh. Hidden. Waiting. "They made a pact with humanity 300 years ago when we first came to the stars. We gave them sanctuary. We asked nothing in return." The copper dragon spoke then, its voice resonating in a frequency that bypassed ears and spoke directly to the soul. "You have broken ancient law, Corvan. The young are sacred. Those who protect them are sacred. You have violated both. We are a military force of the Corvan Empire," Thross blustered.
Oh.
"You cannot." The dragon's laugh was terrible and beautiful. "Little warrior, we existed before your empire drew its first breath. We will exist long after it crumbles to dust." Another dragon, this one scaled in deep violet, landed gently beside Gabriella. From its claws, impossibly, fell a small object. Gabriella gasped. It was her bear, not her torn bear, but perfectly restored, stitched with threads that gleamed like starlight. "We remember every kindness," the violet dragon said softly. "Your grandmother's hands made this with love. Oh, that love is not so easily destroyed." Everett knelt beside Elena, medical supplies already in hand. "They'll want to study you now," he told the injured woman as he worked. "The xenobiologists, the politicians. They'll want to know how humans befriended dragons, how we earned their protection." Alina, despite her pain, smiled at her daughter. "What'll you tell them? The truth." Everett secured the bandage. That we didn't conquer them or trick them or bribe them. We simply asked them what they needed, a place to raise their young in peace. A world where they could exist without being hunted for their scales or their power. We offered them what every species desires: respect. The copper dragon addressed the Corvins once more. "You will leave this world. You will tell your empire what you witnessed here. And you will remember humanity does not stand alone. They never have. Touch their children, harm their families, and you face not just human fury but ours." Thras looked at his raiders, at the circle of dragons, at the impossible scene before him. His species had conquered 40 worlds through strength and intimidation. But strength, he realized with cold clarity, was relative. "Withdraw," he ordered. "All units, withdraw immediately." As the Corvin ships screamed into the sky in hasty retreat, Gabriella hugged her restored bear and looked up at the dragons with wonder. "Why did you come?" she asked. "Just because I cried?" The copper dragon lowered its head until one massive eye was level with the little girl, a small one. In all the universe, there are some things worth protecting above all else. Hope, innocence, love. These are not human virtues or dragon virtues. They are the foundation of all civilizations worth preserving. "We heard you," the violet dragon added. "And we will always hear you. That is our pact." Everett helped Alina to her feet as medical drones from the settlement arrived. Gabriella waved goodbye to the dragons as they took to the sky, their wings creating rainbows in the clouds. Word of New Harbor spread through the galaxy like wildfire. The Corvin Empire issued a formal apology and withdrew from 3 contested territories. Other predatory species suddenly found their expansion plans reconsidered. Humanity, the galaxy learned, had done what no other species had managed. They had earned the loyalty of dragons not through domination, but through compassion. And in the universe's long history of conquest and empire, that made all the difference. Gabriella kept her restored bear for the rest of her life. And on quiet nights, when the wind carried certain sounds, she could still hear them wings in the darkness, ancient and patient, forever watching over those who dared to dream of a gentler world.